Houston, we have a problem.
We have a problem.
Okay, good. What's the problem?
You got a problem?
No. Hey, bud, what's your problem?
Got a problem here? You got a problem there?
Yes, I have a problem with coming to America. Let's talk about it. First off, this is not a comparison to the first Coming to America. It's not like I watched this movie with nostalgia goggles and therefore I couldn't enjoy it. Nah, not at all. But in order to make my point, I'm gonna have to refer to the first Coming to America. So just bear with me. Let me make my point.
It proved to us how incredible this stuff was. Eddie talked to an elderly lady and got her phone number as Clarence the Barber. And that really happened.
Wow. Wait, did you please tell me you called her at some point?
Not only did I call her, we hooked up and did the wild thing. No, I'm kidding.
The original Coming to America is a cult classic. As a matter of fact, nah, it's a classic, right? It has so many quotable lines.
Good morning, my neighbors! Hey, fuck you! Yes! Fuck you too!
It invented the mic drop.
Obama.
Even though Eddie Murphy did it first in Delirious.
Now, y'all take it easy. Bye-bye.
It didn't become a thing until Randy Watson did it.
Damn, that boy can sing.
Coming to America is also the first movie with a whole black cast. I mean, it's that deep that the studio had to ask them to please include a white guy in the main cast. And that's how this guy came about. And the crazy thing is, we wouldn't see anything like it again until the superhero movie Black Panther. And before James Earl Jones was the king of all he surveyed, he was the king of Zamunda. Before Mufasa, he was the king of Zamunda. And then there's that face that you can't forget. That face that eventually will become Shaft, Coach Carter, Mr. Glass, Ray Arnold, Jules Winfield, and Nick motherfucking Fury. That's right, I'm talking about Lawrence Fishburne.
You're as crazy as the people on Twitter. Right. I'm not Lawrence Fishburne.
Alright, it's my main man Samuel Jackson.
Fuck you!
Freeze, you diseased rhinoceros pizzle.
Can't believe he gets his ass kicked by Eddie Murphy, man. But still, for me, that was the first time I saw Samuel Jackson. I even think, I may be wrong, but I think that was his first major role. And it's iconic. And of course, Eddie Murphy was in his prime. Arsenio Hall doing these things. Both legends in this movie. And we don't spend a lot of time in Zamunda, right? But when we do, that shit is fucking awesome. I mean, the cinematography, the set design, everything about Zamunda is flipping beautiful. You remember, right? A little bit of matte painting here and there. And till today, that shit holds up. It just looks amazing. I mean, I remember seeing that back then. The depiction of Africa was just so beautiful. And especially back in the 80s, 90s, every time you saw Africa, it was some crazy, dirty children with flies all on their eyes and, you know, people living in muddy huts. So when they show some true shit like they showed in Coming to America, that shit was powerful. Once again, we wouldn't see anything like it until Black Panther. Damn, that's like what, 20, 25, 28 years later? Hollywood doesn't really like Africa, do they? Basically what I'm trying to say is the movie was visually pleasing. Like from the beginning in Zamunda, the beautiful palace, all the way to New York City and the great locations in New York. And of course, it's a funny movie. Great for the whole family to enjoy. The movie is damn near perfect. Now, 33 years later, Coming to America. It's a cheap movie. Oh, no. There's nothing wrong with low budget movies. Not at all. Matter of fact, a lot of great movies are low budget. But I'm sorry, Coming to America didn't deserve that treatment. Let me explain. Streaming services such as Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, Amazon Prime, they are very good at making TV shows. As a matter of fact, some of the best TV shows we got in the last decade came from those streaming services. And I'm talking about the originals. So the original stuff that they pull out. The thing is, when it comes to movies, it's a little different. Not that they don't make good movies, but their movies seems to be a little limited. Especially when it comes to location, sometimes set design, and star power. So for example, when the streaming service releases an original movie, you realize that some of the locations seems to be a little small. Like you get a major location and then the others seems to be really small, almost like an independent movie. And sometimes, not always, and I say that because it may just be my preference, but sometimes the set design looks very amateurish. And when it comes to star power, usually you will get one major star, one major actor, and the rest to be C-list or unknown. And I'd like to blame it on the budget and say that those streaming services just don't have the same budget. But in saying that, I have seen movies that came out of streaming services with a budget that resembled that of a Hollywood blockbuster, but still, something just doesn't look quite right. So how does that connect to Coming to America? Well, Coming to America 2 being a sequel of a great classic that's loved by many, it didn't deserve the streaming services treatment. As soon as the movie started, I was like, dude, what happened to the economy of Zamunda? What happened to the palace? Why are the rooms so small? Why is everybody cramped up in these tiny little rooms? And what's up with these dances? Did you find them on TikTok? I mean, I'm dead serious. What happened to Zamunda? I don't understand. It looks as if they shot the whole shit at Rick Ross's house.
He's in the photos from Coming to America 2 that they filmed right here in the Promised Land Estates. Oh man, whoever would have imagined that you did.
Well, in that case, I have a few questions for the set designer. No, for real. I'd like to ask him what's up. There's nothing wrong with Rick Ross's estate. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure that place is beautiful. But it is not the palace of Zamunda. I don't know, but I'm sorry. That did not look like Zamunda. It looked like the economy of Zamunda just took a dive and just dive all the way down. They had to reduce on space in the palace. To America too. Can you imagine James Cameron is doing the new Avatar movie? Can you imagine if the new Avatar movie comes out and it looks like some movie you get off the Sci-Fi Channel? I swear to God, at some point it's like I was watching a Tyler Perry movie. And hold on, there's nothing wrong with Tyler Perry's style of filmmaking. But once again, Coming to America deserved a better treatment. And I will go as far as saying that if Tyler Perry produced and directed Coming to America 2, I guarantee you it would have been a better movie. Yeah, so I'm not taking any shots at Tyler, but I was just saying that that's what it felt like. A lot of what I'm saying right now could be due to lack of funds. I think they spent about $60 million. Maybe that wasn't enough to make the movie look better. But then it just makes me wonder how much did they care about this movie before doing it. After 33 years, it's not like there was any rush, right? So it's like, why not go all the way? And I think Eddie Murphy said some shit like that in an interview. He wanted it to be right before they made it, but this ain't right.
And we got like that because we worked on the script so long. It was over the years the script turned into. It was probably 3 years before it was like, hey, I think we got something here.
I'm not too sure what he meant when he said that. I don't know, because like I said, this movie should have been treated a lot better than this. Excuse the pun, but it should have been treated like royalty. 33 years in the making. Deserves better than that. 33 years. Do you know what they did with this movie? They gave it the Star Wars Han Solo treatment. Like, look, this is Han Solo in the original Star Wars, alright? And this is Han Solo 30 odd years later. Exactly the same. Now when you get to the barbers in Coming to America, same shit. Same three motherfuckers doing the same three things. Just so the audience can go, oh, look who's there. I don't know about you, but it wouldn't have cost anything to give him a little more substance. I don't know, a little more story, a continuation. Maybe all three of them are at the barbershop. Now their grandson is running it and they just sit there and crack jokes and talk shit all day. We still get an interaction, but at the same time, a continuation. That something actually happened. You mean 33 years? Them motherfuckers was mad old before. But you're gonna tell me 33 years later, they still doing the same thing? Nothing happened to them? They even changed the front of the shop like nothing? Who you talking to? A little bit more storytelling. Not just the, oh my god, remember those guys from the original? Just, I don't know, just a little bit more. 33 years. 33 motherfucking years. I mean, the possibilities were endless, and I don't know, it looks like they put a full stop on creativity. And it's like, comedy is subjective, and I'm not gonna lie, this movie made me laugh a few times, but I'm not gonna lie, most of the laughs were from cameos, like Michael Blackson, Trevor Noah, Rick Ross's African accent. That shit was hilarious.
General Easy, we have just been informed King Akeem has returned from America with a son. A son?
And another thing that was hilarious, which is more of a question, but why was Gladys Knight, Salt and Pepper, and Morgan Freeman there? I have no idea. I mean, you got Morgan Freeman and that's all you did with him? I don't know. I think it was a waste of opportunity. They're chilling at home with their grandkids and you get them out to do this. I don't know. I thought it was a little bit pointless. Maybe I'm going over the top, but I don't know. Same reason why the fuck did the prince have to rap?
I was stripping the pizza. Paul.
That shit is fucking trash, dog. Get the fuck off the airwaves.
Like, I don't get it. And Tracy Morgan was funny. Like, Tracy's always funny anyway. But you know what? He played the same exact role he played in What Man Want. Literally the same exact role. He plays the uncle. In this movie, he toned it down a little bit, but it's literally the same role. And since we're talking about What Man Want, do you know what this man wanted? I wanted her to be the main character. Why wasn't she the main character? Who's this dude?
Let me show you, baby, I'm a talented boy.
And it's funny because I heard Eddie Murphy saying some shit like that.
A lot of female empowerment. I don't think I'm giving anything away, but there's a lot of female empowerment in this movie.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, it's all timely. We worked on the script for 4 years, and all the elements that are in the script, that's from all the themes in the movie. It was important that the film had universal themes.
And it makes me wonder, all right, why wasn't she the main character? Okay, this is the best they can come up with, right? So he has a son that he didn't know about for 33 years, right? But somehow Semi knew, and so did his dad. Okay. His dad wants him to have an heir to the throne before he dies, and that's how his dad and Semi lets him know, dude, you got a son in New York City. So Akeem and us, the audience, are like, what the fuck? And then they expect us to believe that this guy that's from Africa, where weed grows naturally, right? The motherfuckers get some of the nicest weed, especially back in the 80s, right? This African prince, who probably had smoked that shit before, ends up in New York City, smokes some weed and gets amnesia. Literally, my man just forgets. He thought he was dreaming about some other shit.
He came and jumped into my lap, and then he began to ram me, and ram me, and ram me, ramming, and pow!
You expect me to believe that? And you see, There's a scene in this movie, right? It's the scene where Akeem goes to his son's house to let him know who he is. And he gets to the house and they were talking about, you the prince, I'm the king, you know, I'm your dad. And Leslie Jones is like, oh yeah, you know I was a hoe, right? You know I was a hoe, right? Yeah, you the dad. I swear to God, watching that scene, I felt like, okay, it's obvious that at some point it's gonna be revealed that did a blood test or some shit, and you know what, nigga, you're not my son.
Is this dude my father?
Father, boy. Oh boy, yeah, he might be. He just, y'all know I was a hoe though, right? Y'all know I was out in these streets.
You was the hoe.
I wasn't selling it. I should have been selling it.
I didn't want no Fashion Nova dresses.
Because I was giving it away, for sure.
But nah, it doesn't play out like that. The scene makes it look that way. And you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking is, especially in comedies, a lot of the actors improvise. You know what I'm saying? You know, your Saturday Night Live actors, you know, they get together and they'll improvise most of their scene, most of their dialogue. They do get some kind of templates and what to follow, but, you know, usually they'll improvise. It doesn't always work. Just in this scene right there, it didn't work. I don't know about you guys, but me, literally, it confused the shit out of me when the movie ended and that guy was still his son. Seriously, I thought like something's gonna happen and it's not gonna be the son and the daughter's gonna be queen. And honestly, I think it would have been a lot cooler if that's how the movie went. Literally, there's a better version of the movie in my head where the son ends up not being the son.
Mom, pack your bags, man. We out.
Hey, Dad. Okay, so do I get my own hut with my private shaman?
So that happens, and we spend most of the movie with Akeem's new son, and we watch him learn to become a Jafar. Is it Jafar?
Joachim Jaffa.
Anyway, to become the prince, right? When this whole time, his daughter wants to be the queen. At some point, she even helps her brother a little bit. But the main thing is that his daughter wants to be the queen. But you know why she can't be the queen? Because of tradition.
A woman isn't allowed to rule, Zamunda. It's the law.
Yeah, that's right. Tradition. But hold on a second. You mean to tell me that 30 years ago, we learned a major lesson that the king can change tradition? Remember that movie? Let's go Coming to America. You know, he leaves Africa to go all the way to Queens to find a queen. Remember? Going against tradition. He comes home and he's ready to say, you know what? Forget the damn throne. Basically, forget tradition. I'm going to marry this woman. But either way, by the end of the movie, the queen and the king both said, fuck tradition. I swear, even the mother says something like, you're the king. You can change tradition. 33 years later, you cannot be the queen. It's not Zamundan tradition. Really? But the last movie, remember?
They still could not marry. It is against the tradition.
Well, it is a stupid tradition.
Who am I to change it?
I thought you were the king.
You know, all the lessons we learned. It's like Jurassic Park all over again. Remember? John Hammond had a park. The park messed up. And he learned that the park was a mistake.
After careful consideration, I've decided not to endorse your park. So have I.
In part 2, he was trying to get all the dinosaurs safe in another island and let them chill so that humans would leave them alone.
Ever since that accident in the park, and there are those in the company who wanted to exploit Site B in order to bail us out. Well, they've been planning it for years, and I've been able to stop them up until now. But a few weeks ago...
But then Jurassic World comes out, and they're talking about this was John Hammond's vision.
Enough about cost. John Hammond entrusted me with his dying wish, and not once did he mention profit. Spare no expense, he used to say.
I appreciate that, but...
But no, it wasn't. Did you forget the old movie? John Hammond knew it was a mistake. And it's the same shit they do in Coming to America. Like, really? Tradition? Again? Now, we all know Coming to America is a comedy, right? So, Coming to America is also a comedy. But now, there's also subgenres, which is really a best way to describe a movie. i.e., it's a comedy. What kind of comedy is it? It's a rom-com. So if you're looking at Coming to America, it's a rom-com, right? It's a romantic comedy. Here's how I describe romantic comedies, right? And it goes a little something like this. Boy meets girl, boy likes girl, or girl likes boy. Either way, they like each other. But they can't be together just yet. For some reason, whatever the story is, they can't be together. One of them may have a partner. Obviously, that partner's an asshole because, you know, they're going to break up eventually. But either way, the two main characters can't be together.
Take charge.
But 45 minutes within the movie, they will be together. Aww. But 20 minutes after that, there's got to be some type of conflict. So they will break up or separate in some ways. But obviously, by the end of the movie, the two will be together to live happy ever after. Now that's what you call a rom-com. So you can look at Coming to America and you're like, yeah, it's a rom-com. Now, you look at Coming to America, what the fuck is it? It is a comedy, but it's not a rom-com. Ain't no girl chasing boy, boy chasing girl. And don't tell me about that guy and the hairdresser, because we see them for like 5 minutes in the movie and then next thing you know they're getting married. Like, wait, what happened? You got your hair done twice and now you're getting married? Honestly, what's her name? Do you even remember her name? You can watch that movie twice and I bet you still won't know her name. It's not a rom-com. I don't know what it is, but it's not a rom-com. It's almost as if they had a whole bunch of ideas and they thought, you know, we got to put them all together and see what sticks. And then everything stuck. And they thought, fuck it, let's just run with it and hope it works. But it didn't.
Let me show you, baby, I'm a talented boy.
Now, the actors, they were fine, you know? I think the acting was cool. I love how Eddie Murphy and Wesley Snipes had great chemistry on the screen. That shit was pretty awesome to see the two Godfathers going at it. And it's funny how people are surprised about Wesley Snipes being funny, because the guy did White Man Can't Jump and, you know, all of those movies. You can tell Wesley Snipes was always a bit of a comedian, right? Besides that, I swear to God, there was no chemistry between none of the actors. Between the son and the hairdresser, yeah, they had a few good moments. Chemistry, not really. You know, Eddie Murphy and his wife that we met 33 years ago, I didn't even care she was in there. Leslie Jones with her son or with anybody, it's just Leslie Jones doing Leslie Jones. Once again, it felt like they had such a great cast, but didn't really know what to do with them. Obviously, Arsenio Hall and Eddie Murphy work wonders. That's just them, you know. With the makeup on and all of that, even though I wasn't impressed with the whole barbershop scene, still, that shit was great. But all the other characters, it's like they didn't know what to do with them. Especially the daughter. Because if you ask me, Coming to America 2 would have been about a father and daughter. I mean, seriously, picture it. Father and daughter. This time the daughter goes to New York. Not necessarily to find a man, but she finds one anyway. Same kind of thing. Maybe he doesn't know she's a princess and her pops goes after her. And you can have all that tradition thing play out in the background a little bit. But because Akeem already learned that he's not going to be a bitch when his daughter says she wants to be the queen. And whatever conflict that they had with other neighboring countries who's trying to invade or who wants to be connected with the royal family, deal with it the same exact way they dealt with it in this movie. But put the daughter as the main character. It makes a lot more sense. There ain't no son from nowhere. It's just father and daughter. I mean, look, man. I don't know if you agree with me, but Keke Lane has a lot more charisma and character than Jermaine Fowler.
Let me show you, baby, I'm a talented boy.
Am I the only one to think that? Even while watching this movie, when the both of them was on the screen, I was like, damn, Keke, that's your movie, ain't it? It's supposed to be your movie. Something went wrong. I know the reputation that most sequels have. I mean, to be honest, unless you're the Dark Knight or Terminator, you know, usually your sequels is gonna be shit or mediocre. So it's not like I was looking at this film to be like, it's gonna be good or it's gonna be anywhere near the original. But one thing I am gonna say is, I did think that at least they would have tried. But I'm sorry, after watching this movie, it really makes me feel like no one gave a shit at all. Especially not the set designer. But yeah, I mean, I heard Eddie Murphy talking about he was happy about the script and the script was amazing. But I'm sorry, man, the script is probably the biggest problem in this movie. I could have looked away from the locations in Zamunda looking like Rick Ross's house. But even the story was kind of a letdown. And I'm not going to say to you that this movie is shit or it's a bad movie or whatever. Man, I ain't going to say that. As a matter of fact, I have no idea what people think of this movie because I stayed away from the reviews and all of that shit. But you best believe the minute I press stop on that camera, I'm going to check the flipping Chris Stuckmans and Jeremy Johns and Red Letter Media and whoever out there that reviews movies to see what they think about it. You know, I'll be on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes and all of that. And you know what? If I'm the only one who feels like this, you know what? I might just comment on my own video. So I'm not rating this movie. I'm not even going to tell you it's bad. Like I said, oh, it's a bad movie or whatever. As a matter of fact, I'll say watch it. But I will say this though. I am very disappointed.
That's a madness, bub. You're supposed to say thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, you fucker.